This is the ultimate battery test of Google Pixel 9. Today we will do the ultimate battery test of Google Pixel 9. This is a day in the life test where we'll test the 5G connectivity, the Wi-Fi, video streaming, music, and all other stuff, and we will check the battery drain and the screen on time of Pixel 9. But before we do the battery test, let's check the settings of this phone, starting with the screen. We're putting the screen to light mode so all individual pixels will light up. We're also putting the screen brightness to 50% and turning off adaptive brightness, so we will be able to control the brightness manually. We are setting the screen timeout to 30 seconds. I think that's good enough, and we're increasing the display size and text to medium, so it's easier for me to show you what's on the screen of this phone. The colors are set to adaptive, and lastly, we will use the 120Hz of Google Pixel 9 because this will affect obviously the battery consumption. As you can see, we're using 5G SIM card from Smart Communications, and we're also connected to a Wi-Fi 5 network. You would see the logo on top of it. It would show 5G for data and Wi-Fi if you're using Wi-Fi connectivity. The Bluetooth is always on because we will test the music streaming using a wireless earbuds later, and we have access to the mic and the camera. We are putting this phone on sound profile. We are adjusting the call volume to 100%, ring volume to 50%, the notification to 50%, and the alarm to 100%. Right now it's around 9:06 a.m. We're starting really early with this battery test, and the first battery test will be video streaming using Wi-Fi. We will stream a movie using Prime Video, and we're choosing Creed 2, which is a 2-hour movie, and we're streaming on HD or 1080p, and we're putting the volume to 75 to 80% and the screen brightness to 50%. On top of the screen, you will see the current battery test. On the lower left, you will see the time, and on the lower right, you will see the battery remaining. We will be back midway of the movie to check the battery drop. So after 1 hour of movie, which I enjoy that much, the battery drops to 96%, and that's crazy good, wickedly good in terms of battery performance. I can't remember any Pixel phones that has this battery performance in the past. So this phone is really good for content consumption. Now we will continue this movie and go back in the end to check how much battery we burn after watching a full movie. As you can see, we're almost at the end of the movie. It's now 2 hours, so we will check the battery life, and it's now down to 89%. So I think Pixel 9 is holding longer to 100%, just like what Apple is doing on their iPhones, but it will dip down really quick once it gets to 99%. We lost 7%, almost twice the battery life of the first hour, so around 11% battery drain for the 2 hours of movie. We will test this again later at the end of the day. We're using the selfie camera of Pixel 9 in 4K 30 FPS. Again, a lot of people will probably use this for music while commuting, driving, or for work. So we will do a music test on this phone using a Bluetooth earbuds. I think the good amount of time of using this for music is around 2 hours. So a couple of hours of music test for Google Pixel 9. Alright, starting with the test, we are using a Bluetooth 5.3 earbuds. If this information is something helpful for you, we are connecting both of the earbuds on the phone. We're also using a radio FM app for music. Although it's streaming FM, it's still using data, and we're using our 5G network. Obviously, for people who are commuting and using their phone outside the house, this will be a perfect test for them. We will do this for the next 2 hours, and we will check the battery drop. Alright, it's now 12:46 p.m. and the battery is now 81%, so 8% drop. We probably did a couple of texts and a minute of call in the middle, so that is something you need to know. Now we're putting this phone on standby for the next hour since it's lunchtime, and we will use this phone for vlogging and take some pictures on 5G network after. Right now it's around 1:46 p.m. and the battery remaining is around 79%. We're doing some video tests on this phone to see the battery drop. Honestly, with the first few weeks that I'm using this phone, the battery life is really good on this phone. I'm using this for heavy use like gaming and browsing and just using the 5G network all throughout the day. So hopefully this test will translate that. We will probably do gaming for the next 2 hours later and also do some video streaming again. But now let's take some pictures and videos. This is the video test using the ultra-wide lens, 0.5. And this is the main sensor. Look at the details on the phone. This is 2x. And also the transition from 5 to 1 to 2. It has a smooth transition on the camera. And it can also go at 7x. You could also see on the 0.5 that there's no distortion or battle distortion on the lens. This is 1x. And again, 2x. Now let's check some pictures. After over an hour of walking and taking pictures, we still have 73% remaining, pretty standard battery up for photos and videos. Now for the biggest question, how will the Tensor Gen 4 compete with the latest processor from Apple and Snapdragon? In terms of power efficiency, we will do gaming for the next 2 hours. Brightness is set to 50% and volume is around 80 to 85%. We will also check the battery life after an hour to see how good an hour of gaming, and also after 2 hours for extended gaming. While we're doing this, I also check the settings of Mobile Legends, and you can play on high graphics and high refresh rate, and the ultra graphics or the ultra settings is not yet available for Tensor Gen 4. Alright, after 1 hour and 15 minutes, the battery life is down to 52% from 73%. So it's around 15% every hour of gaming, and that's really good for a flagship gaming phone. I just noticed that the phone is a little bit hot at the back and also the metallic sides, so I think this absorbs the heat from the processor. Now we will continue our gaming and check the battery life after 2 hours of solid gaming. Okay, so after 2 hours of gaming, it's around 5:09 and we still have 40% battery life. It's not a solid hour of gaming, it's around 45 to 50 minutes, so it only drops 12%, and again, I think an hour is around 15%, so you can play 6 hours of solid gaming on Pixel 9. Now we'll proceed with the browsing test. We will do social media, watch reels and shorts for the next hour using Wi-Fi. Brightness is set to 50% and volume is set to 80%.
Sure, thank you.
And after 1 hour of browsing test on Wi-Fi, it's now 6:32 p.m, almost dinner time, and we still have 29%. Now for our last test while eating dinner, we are watching a 2-hour video again and see if the battery drop is the same as when we started this morning. Now fast forward, it's now 7:34 and we still have 22% remaining. So 1 hour of movie is around 7%. I think it just took longer earlier because it was 100%. Now we will finish this video and we will check the screen on time and the remaining battery at the end of this video. So it's past 9 p.m, almost bedtime, and with all the testings we did, I highly suggest you watch the full video if you wanted to see all the testings and not just the result. But if you're just here to see the screen on time, we have 7 hours and 42 minutes screen on time. Mind you, we did some heavy gamings at the middle of the video. You could watch the entirety of it, and we still have 14%, almost like an hour of gaming for me at the end of the day. Oh no, I think Samsung and Apple now has a competition, and oh yes, Google finally did it.